Hi, hello there. Good day, everyone, especially to our professor. I am Rowena De Assis from BSBA 1B, and I'm here to introduce our project plan presentation entitled the Wawa Community Pantry. And now, first of all, I would like to share you some short trivia about what is community pantry means. Community pantry is a form of sharing and giving any resources that you have in kind or voluntary. The idea behind this was the people who's in need or people who's willing to share and give for those people who are in need. The concept of this community pantry is not new for us because as we all know, that we are Filipino that had various traits and the tradition during ancient times. That was we called bayanihan. But where did the community pantry originate? The concept of community pantry is Islamic. A member of Lanao del Sur shared on the bayanihan concept is an obligation of Muslim to their communities. Community pantry is Islamic. They called it sadqa, meaning charity. The Muslim do not just see this as a matter of personal choice, but in fact, part of their obligation to the community where they are in. And up to now that our world are facing various dilemma, so our group decided to make a project plan which is community pantry that would help other people to cope struggling poverty because of the pandemic and to be able to give or share any resources that we can and also to be able to help people, especially those people who's lost their job, lost their incomes, and those experience suffering. And we think that the community pantry concept that is sharing and giving is one thing that we contribute for some Filipino people who taste and hit by the pandemic. That would be our simplest way to help them. In this presentation, we tackle the 7 elements of our project plan. To further know more about what is our project plan, here is one of my members to discuss what is our objectives.
Good day everyone, I'm Jampoles Castro and our project is all about community pantry. So what are the objectives of this community pantry? The first one is to help people who needs in this time of pandemic. We know in our times that our country facing a global pandemic carried a COVID-19 virus. Many have lost their jobs and many people suffered poverty because of this pandemic. The objective of this community pantry is to help people who needs help and to reach the poorest of the poor. The next objective is spirit of bayanihan and compassion to fellow Filipinos. I believe that we Filipinos are naturally helpful to each other, even in the times of disaster and crisis. Through this project community pantry, the spirit of bayanihan will revive and show how generous and compassionate the Filipinos. The third is to give hope for every people who struggle in these tough times. Many people are still unable to work, and many Filipinos relying on government aids. But in reality, those aids was not enough. Through this project Community Pantry, we want to feel and encourage them that there's still hope for them to strive in these hard times. The last objective is to give opportunity to those people willing to help through donations and sponsorships. This Community Pantry project is not just for people in needs, but for those compassionate and generous people willing to help others by giving donations and sponsorships, giving them to extend their help and support to our fellow Filipinos who experience hunger. Also, encourage donors to give what they can and recipients to take what they need.
Good morning everyone, I'm Prolin Galos of Group 2. I'm here to discuss the boundaries of our community project, which is Community Pantry. This community project mostly focuses on the topic which is community pantry. Students voluntarily made community pantry that will somehow help people in Wawa Street who are in need now that there is a pandemic. This study will be conducted in Wawa Street, Ipascual, Towns North, Nabota City, because the students observes that there are many people living or families there that are in need now, especially in this time of pandemic. This community project has no limited acquisition of necessities. It's unlimited. They can get what they want as long as they need it in their daily life.
Good day to all of you. I'm Jerome Copiaco. The location we choose is at Tangos North, the corner of Wawa. Here, we will build a community pantry. At dito maganda yung pinaka-location mo kung magtatayo ka ng gantong ano, community pantry. Dahil mabilis makikita ito ng tao at maraming nangangailangan ng tulong dito lalo na ngayon dulot ng pandemya. At isa pa po sa aking dahilan kaya dito gusto kong itayo yung community pantry na gusto namin gawin ay para din po makatulong sa jeepney driver na natambay o nawalan ng trabaho dulot ng pandemya. Lalo na po ngayon na mahigpit at kapos po tayo ngayon sa pera o trabaho dahil sa pandemya ito. Mas makikita nila ito dahil sa kanto lang ito ng Wawa. Yan lang po.
Good day, I am Reynalyn Esconge, BSBA HR1B, discussing now the target beneficiaries of Community Pantry. So here are the target beneficiaries of Community Pantry: E. Pascual, Tangos North, Navotas City, Wawa Community Pantry. Jeepney drivers, senior citizens, PWD, site vendors, unemployed, homeless citizens, construction worker are the possible target beneficiaries for Wawa Community Pantry. Though of this pandemic, we experience how hard life is, but we fight as one to survive. Today is the trend of Community Pantry, where everyone has the right to take or to get based on their needs. Through this Community Pantry, we learn to love, to hope, and to fight on what we have right now. So that's all for the target beneficiaries. Thank you for listening, and God bless.
Duration, time of implementation. We estimate our availability before we start to this point, so we decided to dedicate a 3-hour Sunday morning community pantry in Wawa Street, E. Pascual, Tangos North, Navotas City, which is in May 2, is the starting point of our giving time at exactly 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every week. We can give all their needs, essentials or not, we can give all their needs. Our project titled Community Pantry end up with August 29, 2021, that these 18 sessions and 54 hours of giving the needs and to show our bayanihan to fellow Navoteños that giving hope for every people who struggle in this time. We hope that everyone can help throughout this day. Thank you.
So good day everyone, my name is Aliyah Van Barkin and I will be discussing the whole budget for this community pantry. The expense budget includes a detailed estimate of all the costs that are likely to be incurred prior to the completion of the project. The expense section typically has 5 categories, but today I will be just discussing 2 of them. As you can see on the PowerPoint, which are the goods and the materials. Under the goods section, I included the most essential goods that people most of the time purchases, which would be rice, canned goods, noodles, vegetables, eggs, and instant coffees. The subtotal is 4,160 for the goods purchased. While the material section has face shield and face mask that people shouldn't forget amidst this pandemic. Next are the table, sandbag, and the tarpaulin. The subtotal for the materials purchased would be 827 pesos. The estimated grand total of the whole social project would be 4,987 pesos. So as you all know, Community Pantry also consists of donations and sponsors. But those contributions aren't included in this expense budget. Those in-kind donations are placed in the income budget that I would not elaborate furthermore.
Let's discuss what our methodology. Here, as you can see, is the implementation of our community pantry on how we would establish our community pantry and also include some tips about it. The community pantry is not be successful if we do not want to encourage other people. Definitely, as long as we had friends, acquaintances, or families, fellow villagers who want to help others, that we are in the modern world, that every people can use gadgets by the process of technology in simplest things just as posting in different forms of media site can contribute a big help to the project. Next is we think also to must know what is to find out what is needed to what it takes to be able for us to get started. In an Excel or on paper, we listed except for the food or we wanted to distribute, but we also wrote down the equipment of my colleagues that would be used to build our community pantry. And then we find a place that is frequented or place where people are mostly needed. Places is important part of the project so that my colleagues and I choose a better place where we can easily go, and most important is the place where there are many people who's lost their job and also people who are mostly needed. Before we lay our community pantry, we must also contact, of course, with the local government and the covering barangays that we will build a community pantry in the area. And since that we are in the pandemic, we also need to keep the protocol enforced by the government. Lastly, of course, is to how to lay our community pantry. We use whatever old pouches, boxes, etc. that could be used as our stock. We also put a signs to be able to explain the content of our project. People that are frequented to our places encourage us to take according to their needing and also give according to their ability. And now let's move on for the conclusion of our project plan. And as of now, that the community pantry is reversible in different parts of our country. This shows us our determination and also gives us more support for those people who are mostly needed at this time. Therefore, we conclude that the implementation of Wawa Community Pantry is becomes successful for as long as there are people who are willing to share and give and people that needed us. Our group do our best to be able to grow and also to give inspiration to others. That is more fun if you can give or share simple things to other people. The simple thing or simple help can be a big help for those people and to our world rather than to contribute dilemmas that our world is now facing this pandemic. And that would be all for our presentation. Thank you and always keep safe.